there, good evening and welcome to Startup Central. I'm Nayantara Rai, working from home in New Delhi. All of you should also be doing just that. This is of course Startup Central, the only show of its kind on Indian television dedicated of course to startups, but also technology, innovation, disruption. If it falls under the bracket of the new economy, it's right here on Startup Central on ET Now every weekday at 6 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, stay in touch with us. Our email address should be on top of the screens, suc@etnow.tv. I'm also on Twitter. Reach out to me directly if you want. Who knows, maybe one day you'll be a part of the show, but we love constructive feedback, especially in this era of work from home. Tell us what you like about this show, what we should be doing differently. We, like the founders and startups that we feature on the show, love and thrive on constructive criticism. Having said that, as India fights coronavirus, what we've also seen are the startups really rising to the occasion. Whether it's a COVID Act fund of 100 crore rupees, which some of the country's largest venture capitalists have come together to form and actually fund innovation to fight COVID-19. Or it's a case of startups offering free services. Look at Juggernaut giving free books. Look at edtech companies offering free classes. You've also seen startups take to the streets to make a difference. And that brings me to my next guest. Very media reticent. They don't usually give interviews. I promise you we had a tough time chasing them and getting this done. Ladies and gentlemen, Zomato. Dipinder Goyal, the founder of Zomato, has been regularly talking on Twitter about what all Zomato can do for the F&B industry, whether it is offering loans to restaurants that many fear will be shut down, to their employees, insurance companies, to even actually going on the streets in collaboration with other startups to give food to the needy. Last year, Zomato took over an NGO, Feeding India. It's now called Zomato Feeding India, and Dipinder Goyal and the Zomato team have distributed nearly 1 lakh food kits since the Janta curfew. And that brings me to my next guest, Chandan from Zomato Feeding India. Welcome, Chandan. Kudos to what you guys are doing. Dipinder Goyal, of course, using the popularity of Zomato to go out there and raise funds. Nearly 25 crore rupees is the last figure that he put on his Twitter timeline. So 25 crore rupees, all of it has been used to feed India?
So we're using the funds as we speak. Like you mentioned, 1 lakh kits have been distributed. So roughly 1 lakh kits correspond to about 5 CR of this amount, which has already been spent, but the more is already in place and being operationalized as we speak.
So you've still got 20 crore rupees with which you can really try and make a massive difference with.
In fact, the rest of the kits would be operationalized, would be distributed in next week, 10 days. Most of it would move in next 10 days.
So can I ask you one question? Why is it that, Zomato is crowdfunding? Why is it that Zomato has used this platform? For example, we're seeing PM Cares, right, which has become a very popular movement, whether it is with the citizens of India or corporates of India. Why this parallel fundraise drive?
We are very close to the food ecosystem. We have been working with the mission of better food for more people. Helping out, going out and helping in this time, catering to more people who are in need is very much in our vision. So we thought of wanting to do something of our own. And hence we went out and raised this corpus that we're talking about here.
Chandan, if you can hear me. Chandan, if you can hear me, I'm sorry, I think there were some technical issues as well. That I was asking you, why are you doing a parallel exercise to PM Cares, which is also going out, raising money, giving back to society, making sure it percolates all the way, to the bottom of the pyramid. But having said that, what I'm also intrigued to understand, I know Zomato is trying to be a multinational company. It's a make in India company which is now going overseas, and a Philippines chapter has also begun for feeding the needy. Why do that right now? Look at India's population, look at the migrant labor, look at the problems we are having. Shouldn't the primary focus of Zomato right now be its home country?
That's a fair question, but we have our teams in the cities that we talk about. We are also going to launch in some other cities, some other countries as well. So we have our teams present there, and these teams also have a purpose. Also have they want to do something about it. So that doesn't take our focus away from focusing on feeding India.
But can I just ask you one question? If somebody is going to be giving money to Zomato in the form of a donation, will their donation at least be used in India, or are you also going to take that money overseas?
So feeding India money remains in India, and we are a not-for-profit company. So the money remains within Zomato Feeding India, the entity, and can be used in India only.
Dipinder Goyal has also talked about giving a helping hand, standing shoulder to shoulder with India's F&B industry and the employees, the crowd kitchens. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? How is that going? Now, Zomato is obviously not in the business of lending money. So how is all of this going to work out?
So we have recently launched a gold support fund where we are raising money to help our gold merchants during this hour. So we'll be helping our premium merchants who are facing a lot of financial trouble during this time, and helping their employees, their wages, the daily wages live by.
And obviously most of the restaurants are shut, right? Labor has gone back home. So how is this exactly going to work out? Can you elaborate a bit? And is it only going to be for the gold restaurants?
So as of now, we have raised, we're raising money for gold restaurants. And whilst some of the labor have gone, but some of these restaurants continue to function or are still paying salaries to their employees. So they definitely need money right now. They definitely need support right now. And we thought we, as an aggregator, are in the perfect place to help these restaurants.
Can I also then ask a follow-up question? If most of the restaurants are shut and they've got financial troubles, obviously, how did you procure this 1 lakh kits? Are you giving business to the restaurants?
So the 1 lakh kits are not procured from any restaurant. These are procured directly from suppliers. So like I would like to clarify this here. These are ration kits. So these are a combination of flour, rice, and pulses. So these are raw material. We wanted to go with not fresh cooked food, but ration kits, so that there is more reliability of meals. We are now giving two weekly ration to these households, so that they can remain indoors, stay safe, and are well fed.
And tell us a little bit about Zomato Feeding India. There is always a lot of cynicism when it comes to making donations. And like I said, at a time when you've got PM Cares, kudos to Zomato, which has managed to raise 25 crore rupees by crowdfunding, literally by riding on its popularity, sending messages to all Zomato customers and all of that. All of this money is just going to be used for ration kits, and in how much time? Because the point is, what I'm trying to get at is that poverty, starvation, death from starvation is not a new phenomenon in India. It's a very sad reality that existed before COVID, and I'm very sad to say that it's probably going to exist even post-COVID.
I agree. Yes. Feeding India, while currently working on Feed the Daily Wager initiative, where we are helping daily wager communities in most urban cities. But like you said, yes, hunger is a big issue. Feeding India would continue to work on solving for hunger in not just urban cities, but mostly rural cities or the middle tier cities. Our mission of eradicating hunger from this country would continue to be worked upon post-COVID as well.
So tell me something, I believe Zomato took over Feeding India last year. Feeding India before that was around for 5 to 6 years. You've been with Zomato personally now for 2 years. So Chandan, give me a little idea now. How important is this initiative, the non-profit, to Zomato, to Dipinder Goyal? He obviously took over Feeding India also at a time or around the time there was this entire controversy of logout. Zomato was seen as a company at that time which didn't care about restaurants, and now here it is coming out during COVID-19 saying we need to stand shoulder to shoulder with the F&B, we need to support our merchants, we need to make sure that employees have insurance and benefits, and the restaurants can come to us for loans. A lot has happened in this 1 year.
We work with our mission of better food for more people. And every decision that we take, everything we do is around better food for more people. Feeding India fits very much around more people. We are a populous country. And like you mentioned, hunger is a big issue and will continue to happen post-COVID as well. Feeding more people married into our vision, and hence Feeding India was acquired or acquired by Zomato.
So let me make this my final question to you now. When you Feed India, and right now the focus is on daily wagers, the services industry in India, led by hospitality, travel, tourism, has come to a virtual collapse, right? Because everything is shut, labor has been lost, all of that. There's a question of livelihood being lost. These are people who live hand to mouth, all of that. And Zomato is also trying to come to their rescue, as we have seen on Twitter, as we've seen the Dipinder Goyal tweet, as we've seen all that drive on social media. Could Zomato Feeding India tomorrow also look at feeding the restaurant community, those in the services industry, or that's not going to happen? Basically, the point I'm trying to get at is all the donations that are coming in. Could that also be ultimately used to support the F&B industry? They provide a lot of employment.
Zomato Feeding India is, it works at an arm length distance from Zomato. Zomato's business is for profit, while Zomato Feeding India is not for profit. Our funds would continue to be managed the way that it solves for more people and not particularly to any industry or to maybe any kind of people. So we continue to work towards hunger, and irrespective of where this hunger is. So these funds will not going to flow back to F&B industry. We will work with children who go to NGOs for education and probably don't have, haven't had a good breakfast or have no likelihood of getting a good lunch. They only get fed only when their parents come back from labor sites in the night. That's where we'll work, and our funds will continue to be channeled into that.
How much does each food kit cost? I'm only asking this question also so that those who are tuning in will know how much a kit costs, and then therefore they can calculate how much they want to donate. And also, Chandan, has it been difficult for you to procure these raw materials? I'm trying to just do a background channel check also, because with supply being disrupted, how easy or difficult is it to access the raw material, whether it is atta and dal, etc.?
We launched this campaign on 24th of March. In just 2 days, lockdown was announced, and the entire country came to a standstill. We could not get the supplies in the initial 3-4 days. We struggled. We called up every aggregator of supplies, and we couldn't get hold of supplies. The reason why we have only been operationalized 100,000 kits and counting now, because first 2-3 days we were just scurrying to get the hands-on supply. But in last 3-4 days, the supply has been immense. We have been able to tap to multiple suppliers in multiple cities And these are geographically spread suppliers who can help us source directly from the manufacturer. And these kits directly come from the manufacturer to the hunger spot or to the families that are need to be fed. The second question you asked about the price of the kit. So a kit is, we call it a kit. It has a combination of flour, rice, or pulses, depending on which part of the country where we are in. In South, we're giving more rice, or it's only rice and pulses. In North, the focus is more on flour. Every kit costs roughly around 500 rupees and can feed a family of 5 for a week. So essentially, every kit is about 100 meals. And we have now started giving out the last 1 week. Most of the kits that we distributed were essentially 2-week kits, so that these families stay indoors for 2 weeks, and the liability of meals is sorted.
Because the more indoors they say, then they can practice social distancing. They don't have to come out. With that, Chandan, thanks so much for joining us on ET Now. Kudos to the entire team. 1 lakh kits have been distributed. That food can last a family for nearly 2-week time. 25 crore rupees being raised by Zomato and Zomato Feeding India. Kudos to all of you and your entire team that is going out there. You're also the foot soldiers of India as it fights against COVID-19. With that, we're going to take a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. On the other side, we're going to touch base with a truck aggregator, BlackBuck. Why are we doing that? Because the Prime Minister wants truck aggregators like BlackBuck and many others to come together and provide a solution for farmers. Remember, it is harvest season. You can't have a situation where we're going to have shortage of food supplies post the lockdown. A special conversation after this break.